southmost in the Caribbean. And if you don't want to believe it, well, friends, let me make you understand. At Jamaica, Grenada, Barbados, and Vincent, just to name a few. When visitors pass through Trinbago, this is what they'll tell you. They tell you, come discover one of us, come discover both of us, and why not come and discover all of us? For together we aspire, and together we achieve. The way we live is hard for them to believe.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago right here on CTV and Talk City 91.1 FM, streaming live on ctvtt.com. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We invite you to download our CTV app for the very latest in news, current affairs and trending topics on our program. We also invite you to interact with us via any of our various social media platforms. We definitely love to hear from you. Well, as per usual, we have a brand new show for you. It's a brand new Monday morning, and we can assure you that you can look forward to a lot. This morning, we'll be talking a little bit about money making. Yes, the Billionaires League pre-launch. It takes place on Wednesday at the Hyatt Regency. Sheldon Orlando Powell is the founder and CEO of Billionaires Mobile Limited and the Billionaires League. He's here to tell us all about the Billionaires League pre-launch, as well as this amazing tool he has created to enable users to guide their investments. Good morning and welcome. It's a pleasure having you on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you have been described as the founder and the CEO of one of the most disruptive investing mobile technologies out. What exactly is this tool called the Billionaires app all about?
The Billionaires League app is it's a software. So we create a mobile app that enables novice investors who don't know how to invest in the stock market to gain real-time access from the world's leading billionaires, pension funds, and investment banks' stock portfolio in real time, directly from the Securities and Exchange Commission in the United States. So we've powered it with real-time data from the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and New York Stock Exchange. So anyone who don't have any knowledge whatsoever how to invest, you download the application, you practice with virtual money to get the hang of mimicking their strategies.
Great.
So it's the portfolio holdings the users are actually mimicking from the billionaires and the banks.
So it's designed for the average person on the street who is not too familiar with how it works.
Yes, as well as investment advisors, investment bankers, insurance agents, and anyone who want to learn how to invest in the stock market.
And where did the name come from exactly?
Well, good question. The Billionaires League came about under the SEC. It's mandatory. Once you have a 100 million asset under management, you must submit your report. There's a difference between a fund manager and a billionaire. So each of these billionaires, their personal net worth is tied to the stock market. So they're not a fund manager managing people's money. They're managing their personal wealth. So all of these guys, their net worth, minimum $1 billion US. So the Billionaires League, the concept was you're following the billionaires themselves. So you're in a different league because they're managing their own money, not fund managers. So they fit the criteria in terms of the net worth that associate with it.
So is a certain type of information that would be available to use? So is there any sort of concern in terms of what information is being put out there?
Initially it was, which is why it's been 3 years now, a lot of sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears put into the project, right? And we had to sit down with some of the regulators here, and the United States Securities Exchange Commission, under the Data Protection Act, it's mandatory for these billionaires to submit their reports quarterly, daily, weekly, whenever, right? Now, we take those data, it's public information, and build algorithms that make it easier to understand. So one of the reports is this thick, right? And so on Wednesday, we're going to demonstrate to the private guests how the process works if someone wants to do it on their own. So let's say you go to an institution to ask them to position your portfolio. It's an entire process behind it to make a decision, right? So the concept was the data from the SEC in the United States under the Obama administration, they created the Volcker Rule and the Dodd-Frank Act. And under those two acts, banks, billionaires, you must disclose your information because people, that's people money they're investing, right? So that's all we did. We just tap into data that's already existed, build algorithms to make it easier for the average person to understand.
So it's really public information that you're just collating and making it available.
It is public information. So we tap into Forbes now as a data provider to give the background history of the billionaires themselves. So it's different data sets we've integrated to make it what it is. So Forbes cover the content, the billionaires content in real time, investing news, politics, and finance and tech, right? We cover the portfolio holdings of the billionaires themselves, and NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange cover the real-time data feed.
Right, so you spoke about algorithms.
Right.
How can you prevent miscalculations using the algorithm?
And that's an important question, because what we did in the terms of use, we explained to the user, before you accept the application, we have a disclaimer there to say, look, every information here, we believe it's accurate. However, we're not giving financial advice. It's up to you as a user to do your own independent research. So it's a leading indicator in the right direction. So we're not saying do this or do that. We're just displaying the data. So even if there's a miscalculation, the user already accepts the terms and conditions that we're just leading in a direction.
What about system failure or crashing?
Good question. So what we did, we use Amazon AWS as a Amazon Web Server. So it's the new type of technology now we use as server. So we do not store users' information. The only information we collect is name, email address, and telephone number that the user submit to us for continued service.
Yes.
And based on that information now, we use that to communicate to our audience to help them to make decisions pertaining to what news coming out, what activities we have going on, and that's about it where that is concerned.
Yeah. Somewhere I read that you have interest in introducing artificial intelligence in the software to take it to another level.
Definitely. No, just for the audience, we were nominated, actually not nominated.
You won.
Yes, we won Best Portfolio Management.
Yes.
That opened up a lot of doors for us with Black Man in Tech, which is a series by Forbes, Thrive Global, and Medium Magazine. So we've already published the Medium Magazine. We're waiting on Forbes to release that series, right? So the general idea behind the application is to say, look, we're not financial advisors. All we're doing is giving information to the masses through a mobile application, right?
No, I want to get into that award a little bit later on, probably to talk a little bit about what would have gone into that, because I understand in that competition you were up against Singapore and Europe and so many others. What would have gone into that?
No, we have to give Pitchit and Career credit because they identify startups, innovators, right? So it's like the Silicon Valley approach, right? The issue with a lot of startups is the fact that you don't have mentors around you. So the award nomination, it came through the World Bank. So we were proud to be recognized, even though we didn't have the MVP as yet.
Yes.
We were proud to be recognized by an entity, publish us in a global database to say, look, take a look at the novelty of the application, right? So it was definitely a game changer initially. A lot of people were saying that we won't make it. A lot of people were saying that it doesn't make any sense. If this was so easy, why someone else from Silicon Valley doesn't do it, you know? So overall, it was definitely a game changer. So we took that to show here in the Caribbean that it doesn't matter your nationality, right? We're still one Caribbean people. We should foster innovation and entrepreneurs to understand using technology with finance to educate people what is coming. So the AI element, we're going to tap into that after the second version. Yes. We have a predictive model analysis aspect to it. So you could compare billionaires and it will show you in the future which billionaire will outperform the next one. You follow me? So that's a game changer. So let's say you select Bill Gates versus Warren Buffett. You do a compare. A basic chart will show you their portfolio composition over time, which one will outperform. And all of this is powered by the SEC data.
Right.
We're just making it easier to understand it and access it. Correct. You follow me? So we're going to use IBM Watson to help us with that project right there.
It sounds exciting.
It is exciting, actually.
All right, now let's break it down a little bit. What are the benefits of investing using this app as opposed to the traditional means of investing?
So good question. We're not here to eliminate the brokers. We complement them, meaning we're a data provider. We're a tool. So let's say you're a novice investor. You got burnt in the past. You have all of these Bitcoin, all of these different things popping up.
Yes.
So the millennials, the next generation, they don't focus on wealth creation, right? Get rich quick kind of thing, right? So we're saying, look, the benefit, you don't know the application, you get 10,000 virtual money to practice with. So we're going to demonstrate the two types of mobile app on Wednesday. One of them is for the advanced trader who would like to do real investing. The other one is for virtual investing. So let's say you want to practice risk-free without any capital. The only thing you have to pay is your subscription, which is $6.99 US, right?
Okay.
A cost for a KFC meal, right? Now, what we did is to create a broker center in the mobile application, because in the Caribbean, in Trinidad, there are only two brokers here that open brokerage account: First Citizen Investment Services and JMB Interactive. Now, the capital requirement for someone to get started is between 5,000 US, 2,500 US to 5,000 US. I'm a student. I don't have that kind of money, not to mention the amount to get started. So we've connected with several broker dealers in the state, the largest one in the application. So we've integrated with them seamlessly. So we're a connector. So you could do KYC and AML in the application directly to the broker. So let's say you don't have a brokerage account, right? Don't know the application. It has open brokerage account, which is the center. So a list of brokers will appear. You could open up your brokerage account from the mobile app. But in the Caribbean, we have to physically go to an institution. We have to physically do KYC and the whole process. So those are the key benefits. To note, with Forbes, on the other hand, provide content about the billionaire. It has a financial literacy mechanism about it that educates you about these men, what they've been through in the earliest.
And they would have invested heavily in terms of managing their wealth. They would have experts helping them to invest here, there, and
Brilliant.
everywhere.
And this is what the message we're trying to communicate to the audience. We're not giving you advice. These are the men that hire the best minds to manage their wealth, number one. Number two, they're the world's 1% and the 10%. So these are the guys that set economic policies. They control the central bank. Follow me? So these men know into the future. So they know which sector will perform, which stock will perform, and they position themselves in advance to capitalize on it.
So you essentially get to copy their strategy.
Yes, that's exactly what you're doing. By copying their strategy, it's the 11th largest stocks in their portfolio. So that's the most precious stocks.
Sounds great. Where did the idea come about, Mr. Powell?
I got burnt in the past. I've lost everything in life at one point, and I had two beautiful children to look after. So I'm a market technician by profession, chartered algorithmic trader. So with the Greece crisis, I've lost a lot of money when the euro had plummeted. So I realized that billionaires were doing something different than the regular trader. So people need to get a concept. There's a difference between investment and trading. Trading is a day-to-day activity. You sit down, you watch charts, you use all these technical tools to make a decision. Investing is when you use a methodology and you stick with that methodology over the long term. So you do not listen to market noise. So after I started to do my research, I realized that the billionaire's net worth has increased the same year that I lost my money. So I'm like, what's going on? And that's when I started to look into the Forbes database to understand these billionaires' portfolio to do my research. Upon the research, I contacted Forbes in the ideation phase to say, look, I'm going to develop this application. Can you help me? So they gave me like 5 to 10 minutes to sell the idea to them. From that, I've won Douglas Lopenzino. He's the director of content and sales. So I was able to win him over on the concept. And from that now, we start to develop the mobile application.
Determination.
Definitely. And sacrifice. And a lot of people said we won't do it. So the application speaks for itself.
Now, we spoke earlier about the FinTech Award. You were the FinTech Award winner, Best Portfolio Management Application 2017 in the Caribbean. Now, you were competing, as I mentioned earlier, with guys from Singapore and Europe. As a young Black Caribbean man, how difficult was it for you?
Difficult, very. Why? Everyone expects the next Bill Gates to come from Silicon Valley or the Zuckerberg, right? Now, initially, when we take a look at the competitors, most of those guys are in AI, right?
Yes.
So what makes us unique is the fact that we're in financial literacy. So these guys are making like robots, right? Automation, those kind of things. So when you see all these different competitors, what makes us better? Because we're from the Caribbean. So it kind of shortlists the list. You follow what I'm saying to you? But when we enter the financial literacy aspect now, they compare us to the leading apps in the United States and in Europe. And we've outwon them because of the novelty behind it. So we have one main competitor, but they're only doing selective billionaires, but they manage the money for you. We're saying no, because they charge a performance fee, they charge a management fee. That's not right. Because if your fund perform or it does not perform, the brokers always get paid. So we're saying, look, use it as a tool, challenge your broker. You could would take the decision-making process from the broker's hand into the user's hand in a simpler way that they could understand how to do it from a click of a button.
Wow, sounds exciting.
So that was the novelty why we were able to fast forward and take that award home for the Caribbean.
So on Wednesday, we understand that you have a pre-launch at the Hyatt.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a bit? What
Definitely.
can we expect?
So I will keep some of the details.
Sure.
However, we've sent invitation to the Bankers Association, to the Central Bank, UTC, the SEC, NEHRS, UWI, Carrere, also Arthur at Jack. So we have a wide institution we focus on that deals with financial literacy. So we're going to have a mixture of like 40 to 50 private guests. So this is the pre-workshop. So the general idea is to demonstrate the app to the user, so let everyone interact with it. So we're going to walk them through with it, what this function does, the whole process, right? As you know, refreshments provided. From that note, into the official launch, we're going to have a forum, right? We're going to have some of the decision makers here in the Trinidad internationally come now to talk about where the economy, where the world is going. And those 40 people that we've converted over that 1 month period, we're going to have them to come and share their success story. How is it working for them?
Right.
The whole 9 yards. So we've strategically positioned ourselves with bloggers and writers to come to the event and write about their journey, write about their experience, write to the people in the Caribbean, and especially in Trinidad, what their experience is like using the mobile application. I'm not going to say there's still flaws, as you know, with every technology. So our objective is to highlight the benefits, highlight what is come and what you're doing to improve on the technology, and let the writers now share their story to their audience.
You also mentioned 2 types of mobile apps. That's what you're going to be discussing.
Yes.
One is more designed for the novice.
Yes.
And you have, what are the 2 types, just to remind us?
One of them is called the Billionaires League. Well, both of them is the Billionaires League. One of them is a practice account. So we're gonna explain the 2. One is a white, one is a blue. So we're going to simplify it.
Okay.
So the blue one is for someone who has been using the application already. You want to do real money investing. You want to get started in the real world. So you have the brokers you could choose from. You could handle your story. The other one is for a student or someone who don't know how to invest, or they want to get started risk-free. So you don't know the white one. The white one, no, you cannot do any open brokerage account other than replicate or copy in real time. So we start off with $10,000 US. You select Bill Gates, it shows you his portfolio. You tap the pie chart, it shows you where he invests his money, the percentage allocation. You press replicate, a calculator will pop up asking you how much do you want to put in to replicate. And you put 200, 100, whatever, copy, continue, bam. Within 30 seconds, you already mimic his portfolio in real time. And then now you could use that as a benchmark to monitor over a period of, let's say, 1 or 2 months before you migrate to the next one, risk-free. But they still have to pay the $6.99.
Yes.
You know?
Sounds great. What are your closing comments?
First of all, determination is very important. And you always have to strive above the norm to see how you could silence your critics. Number 2, you have to focus on what's your purpose. If you don't know your purpose, you have to find out, okay, well, how could I add value to people's lives, right? When you find those answers, you tap into yourself to say, okay, how could you pay it forward? So for me, I'm a creator. I'm not good at accounting. I'm not good at so many different things, but I'm good at concepts. So once I understand a concept, I create wireframes in my mind to say, okay, how I'm going to turn it into reality.
Yes.
And I put different components to that now to make it born. So yes, the journey begins with you but you have to bring people on board to help you to take it to the next level.
Wonderful. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, Mr. Powell. You're such an inspiration, a young man of great substance.
Thank you
so
very
much.
Thank you.
Of course, we've been chatting with the man himself, Sheldon Powell of the Billionaires League, and he's talking to us about that particular event, that pre-launch that takes place on Wednesday at the Hyatt Regency. We take a short break, a lot more when we return. Stay tuned.